And good evening, Bobcat Nation. Welcome back to another edition of the Bobcat Blitz. We're coming to you back from our studio here at the Northport Beefo Braves. It's been a while. My name is Sean Kirkpatrick. We're going to have some coaches here from both soccer and our softball preview. As always, Mr. John Rawlings here to help us out. He will be off camera, unfortunately. He's going to be doing
working the tech,
but you'll still be able to hear him. He'll be asking quite a bit of questions. So, guys, I want to thank you. John, it's been a while since we've been here.
Man, we're back at Beefs.
We're back at Beefs.
And all right, put that right in the middle.
That's because these last few Tuesdays, I've been announcing our ever awesome and victorious soccer and basketball programs. And if you've been following our posts at all, Winter Sports just keeps on marching through. They don't want to quit. They just want to keep going to states. And I have a nice little introduction here. I love trophies on our show. We had our last trophy we had was Coach Fu had a cross country one. It was a really nice one. It wasn't the district level one. It was pretty good. So I actually asked Coach Sorbino to come back on our show because I know he's still coaching the season. But Coach, what do you have for us here? What's our trophy today, sir?
Yeah, obviously we're able to get the district championship this year and bring it home to Northport. So this is our celebration here.
Can I touch it? I don't want to get my things on there. Look at that. All right, so Coach, why don't you tell everybody what set the stage for us? What happened? Who did you take on, and how did you do that?
Yeah,
it's pretty special.
So last time we were on, we were talking the last two times around. So the first one talking preseason and kind of where we felt this team could get to, and we had some high expectations for a very heavy senior class. As we progressed through the season, we came back on, and we were in a good place. I mean, we went on a 14-game run without a loss, and we knew that the group had showed us throughout that run that they had the potential to do something special. Now, as we get into districts, it was hard. We fought every inch at the end there to make sure we had one of the top two spots and had a bye the first round. And then going into the semis, I got to play Sarasota High School, who was two tough games during the regular season, but we were able to get out a win there. And then seeing Lakewood Ranch, who pushed strong at the end of the year in the final. And I mean, the most incredible soccer setting out there, yeah.
So fans, I was there Monday, I believe, for the girls district round. I wasn't able to go to the boys. I was sick, and I did text you later on that night. I said, "What's going on?" And what was going on? It was like 9:00. I'm like, the game should have been over.
Sure.
Coach, what happened that night? Go ahead, walk us through that.
Yeah, I mean, so it was a tightly contested game, and like I said, they had some solid players that came on late in the year. They were able to get a goal with about 15 minutes left in the game. Our guys responded immediately and scored, so we went to double overtime. In the second 10 minutes, they scored with about 2 minutes left to go up 2-1. They celebrated like they won the game. Our guys stayed resilient, knew it wasn't over, and found a goal with about 30 seconds left to tie it and went on to PK.
So PK comes along. Did you already have your 10 set in place before the game, or was it like you felt it out throughout the game? Like, oh gosh, we better get.
Yeah, I mean, we had been practicing it for a while just to make sure you have the right guy. So we had our list of 10. Obviously, you kind of hope you finish it in the first 5. So it ended up kind of coming down to, ironically, our keeper in the second overtime basically came into the huddle before we went out and was like, just give me the PKs and I'm going to win you a district
What's your
championship.
keeper's name again?
Christian Heredia.
By the way, this is Coach Thomas on the side here. I forgot to introduce you there, Coach.
Yeah, that's all right. So Christian goes out the first PK. He stops there. He blocks their PK.
Nice.
So we continued 1v1 all the way towards the end. Everybody was making. It came down to our last player. If our last player made it, then we win the district championship. So unfortunately, our last player got up there, and it's a lot of pressure to be the last one on that situation. That's, I think, one of the more difficult things to do in sports is get down to PKs. So unfortunately, he missed. So then we were, kind of looming into the extra round. So Lakewood Ranch's last player came up to take a PK and put it wide. And so that was it. We ended up
winning 9 deep on that.
No, just the 5.
Oh, 5.
They went all the way to the last one. They had the last shot, but we needed them to miss. They needed to make it to keep going because they had missed the first one. and they missed their last one, and the celebration ensued.
And I wish that part I wish I was there for. I do apologize for being sound asleep that night, but man, I'll tell you what, I want to say that real quick, Coach. So I was telling Coach earlier, we can say a little bit more than he can because he's got to keep his job. And shortly after, I posted an article that I found a while back. It was on explaining the FHSAA district system for football based on the I don't know how it's legal equation. So old school John, I remember, if you won your district tournament, you always hosted the first regional game. Fast forward, I've been out of teaching for about 6 years now. Fast forward, you're not hosting the first regional game because the secret equation says you have to go somewhere else. Why don't you explain that real quick without getting in trouble?
Well, no, it's so you actually, if you're the district champion, you still host.
Yeah.
The problem is they re-rank you 1 through 8. So if you're a district champion that happens to get paired with another district champion, then the other district champion who's higher hosts. So we just happened to get paired with another district champion who happened to be higher in the ranking. So that's why we're not.
So you can have teams that lost that district game with each other paired up.
Yeah, so
theoretically,
that's actually happening in our scenario. So
we have teams in the top 8 in the region that never even made their district championship.
That's insane.
Yeah, but this is the problem, and if this gets me in trouble, it'll get me in trouble. But this is just my opinion, strictly as a coach. It goes this: what we're starting to see, and what you spoke to a little bit, was this: there was an investment into the district tournament. Obviously, everybody wants to win a trophy, right?
Right.
Like, for 6 years, I have tried to put my teams in the best place to succeed and get to this moment. This is our 3rd trip there. It's our first trophy for Lee. He coached the girls for 15 years, got there many times, and this was his first, right? So this is not an easy feat to accomplish in the districts we play in. But what we're seeing is, a team like us, in the regional picture, we go into districts ranked number 6 in the region. The top 8 make it, right? So now we're still not in a position, having a successful season to say we are definitely in regionals. We are fighting to get to that district final when we play our district opponents, right? So we have 6 games against our district opponents throughout the year. 4 of the teams in front of us all come out of the same district. They had not played a single district game the whole year. So they all go into regionals 13-0, 12-0, 11-0, and now to get knocked out of districts, you only have to lose 1 game, right? So they're a 1-loss team. They're still going to be in a ranking position with the state to qualify for regionals. And to me, that is finding this gray area in the system that goes, what is the purpose of a district championship?
And I'm going to jump in again. And I'm glad you said that because I also posted a follow-up for basketball. Same thing. The old days, John, I know you played your district opponent home and away. Let's say basketball or soccer. You lined them up. You knew who had the wins and losses. Our basketball team played a district team twice. They had 3 total district games. Venice twice in Sarasota. They beat all 3 of them. Riverview, which is where they're going to, played like 2 games in their district and lost both of them. And we still have to go to Riverview.
Right.
So I would like to know, why did this come about? And is there any signs of it changing back to how it used to be where you played your districts home and away and you knew who the top of the districts were?
Yeah, I mean, it was easier back 2 years ago, 3 years ago, because you went, okay, if you make the district final, that's your first league because your district finalists are both going to go through regardless. Who wins it is going to get the runner-up in the district below us, like this to the south.
It's like an X.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going to play the number 2 if you're the number 1. You're going to play the number 1 if you're the number 2.
Right.
That made a lot of sense. Now, off of the state rankings, like you said, there's not a ton of value in playing district opponents anymore. We find that value here because now when you start to talk about this picture of rankings, you go, well, we don't know the equation. They've never told us the equation. They can't tell you, but we do know that strength of schedule plays into it. That's a major factor. We know that wins and losses play into it. We have a very strong district, so there is a reward for us to play these teams throughout the year. That is helping our strength of schedule. But if there comes a year where, and nobody knows this, right? But there comes a year where your district opponents don't feel the team as strong as what they have in the past. Well, now this can hurt your strength of schedule. This can hurt your overall record, and that's kind of what we're seeing.
So, guys, do you know why this came about? Did anybody ever know the history? I don't know the history behind this. I was gone for so long.
I mean, my only thought is what you run into with other districts sometimes is, and you see this, and if you look at 7A in our region, right? You've got some districts that top to bottom are very competitive, and you've got some districts that aren't.
Right.
And so let's say you upset a team and then you make it to the district final and you don't win, but you're the runner-up, but you're not, like, realistically throughout the season, you haven't been a very strong team. You know, let's say you're 7-6-2, you know, and you wouldn't normally be that team that's at that level. I think what's happening is they're trying to come up with a system that rewards a team for going, 13-0 and loses one game before they go to the district championship and doesn't even.
Oh, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep these powerful schools up and running, but there should be something for having a team that does a great run in districts.
Well,
That's the whole point of March Madness, and the team gets hot at the right time and off they go.
I think at the end of the day, the thing that we would like to see as coaches is that teams that win and ultimately win their district championship get rewarded for doing that.
Correct.
And get some sort of bump.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that was kind of disappointing for us was like we had to go through the gauntlet to get there.
And that's
we
why
win
I was so
and
revved
then
up. As
you
an
don't really
announcer.
see much of a change for us. So
Right. Well, that's it. So, like, our biggest question throughout the district process was, obviously, our goal is to win it, is to continue to climb through that process. That's what we're reinforcing to the team every day. But something that happens is we get a bye the first round. So when a team like Lakewood Ranch, for instance, they make the final because they were a lower ranked team coming into districts, right? They have to play 3 games. So they get the opportunity to play in the quarters, the semis, and the final, right? So if they win all 3 of those games now, they put themselves in a position where they got 3 more wins out of it. When as a team like us, we get that bye in the first round, we've earned that bye, but now we only get the potential to play 2 games, right? So if one of us wins out, but if they're them winning out, we're to place them ahead of us, then it would create a scenario where we're questioning, well, what does the bye do for you? Because on your record in the state rankings, it doesn't give you a win, right? So now what does the bye do for you if you do get it? Does that count towards your ranking points? Does that give you a lower jump?
This guy, I'm telling you, I just like it the old. I know I'm old.
Yeah,
It was so much easier when we knew, but we'll switch up here. You're doing a good job taking it in stride here. You're taking on Durant,
That's right.
which is weird because the girls are taking on Durant. You're just flipping locations here.
Yeah,
And Durant, that's Tampa area, isn't
it's
it?
Flint City, yeah.
Flint City, yeah. So have you ever seen them or played them or just
No.
you see them film?
Yeah, we're trying to get some film. I mean, that's the trick now. It's like you're running down their schedule, emailing everybody. Can we find anything, right? No common opponents or anything like that. We can only look at strength of schedule and hope that that's an accurate ranking. We can look at their record and their results and kind of try to get that film and see how they play. I mean, ultimately, we trust in our process, though.
Well, we want you to come back when it's all over. We like to have our coaches come back as a wrap up. You can tell us how it goes. And you're going to be next Tuesday. That's at Durant, I'm assuming 7 p.m.
Yeah.
side note, we did actually bring a player, so I don't know.
Oh, come
Yeah,
on,
bring
sure.
it.
Let's get them up here. Yeah.
100%.
By the way, is the blonde hair a team uniform color now? Are we all there?
So,
I like the beard going
It's
on.
his
That's
fault.
good.
It's his-
Blonde
it's
hair.
his-
all right. So about 2 weeks before our district
Looks good, by the
tournament,
way. Looks good.
about 2 weeks before the district tournament, the boys came to me and they said, some of them said, "Coach, when we win districts, you're going to bleach your hair." I made the bet with them. I thought it was good encouragement, right? And
Next year you gotta go for shaving the head. That's what you gotta do.
Yeah, I mean, I thought when you said it after the game, I was like, you should let all the coaches in on this. I just like plan, but I didn't really know it at the time. But
That's awesome. So, Coach, I want to introduce our young player on the left. I'm not young anymore, but
yeah. So we've been talking all season about some of the things going on with the season, and I think for me, obviously. We've talked about it. So this is Caden Thomas, my son, who's a senior on the team. He's been varsity all 4 years. A linchpin in our process for the season. Switched back to defense for us in this game. He's been playing midfield, but we felt like we just needed that extra position control with him in the back. And I think it was kind of one of those dream best case scenario moments that you coach for 20 years. And you win your first district championship when your son's a senior. So it really couldn't have been any better.
Okay, then ask question. I actually had you on an interview, but we couldn't hear a word. The microphones are terrible. So this time we can actually hear your voice. How was this whole last few games for you guys? I think I saw you on the one of the district rounds earlier on, not the last one there.
I would say it's very exciting to actually win the district. It's something you always talk about as a player, and you always think about in your head and how amazing it would be to actually pull it off and just pull another feeling. To go from beating Sarasota and the excitement to that, to playing against Lakewood Ranch and winning that game on PKs after putting the whole 100 minutes.
Did you take a shot at all or no?
No, I was one of the 5. I was one of the other 5.
Gotcha.
It would go to elimination.
I would be, full disclosure, I would be terrified to be one of the first 5. I played defense most of the time. I would whip it, just sky it up 100 yards. I'm just so afraid to take that shot.
PKs aren't really my thing.
Yeah.
I'll hit one as hard as I can if I have to, but it comes down to it.
Yeah.
We trusted our strikers.
That's
to take
awesome.
those shots.
That's awesome. So coach said you're up till midnight almost on that night. What time did you actually get off the field?
It's a hard
What were you doing those next 2 hours?
I don't really know what time we got off the field, to be honest with you. Everyone was just running around, celebrating, and then we went and take pictures. We came back out, and we were taking pictures with the trophy.
Good.
It'd really be hard to
So what are you guys doing? You had about a week off, right, till Durant. What have you all been doing practice-wise, player side? And anything different? Just half speed, full speed, 3/4?
Just full speed.
Really? Yeah.
Just keep doing what we're doing and try and progress in practice every day.
Because that's a long time to wait for your next game. You're used to having a game almost every couple of days. All of a sudden, you have to wait a long time. So keeping that competitive. The good news, everybody else is too, right? That's not just you guys.
Luckily, we just did this on the bye week in the first round of districts. We had that
Okay.
bye week, so that kind of shook it up. And that timing was really weird for us, right? We had some guys that were kind of pulling up with, like, I wouldn't say injuries, but just a couple of things that were getting tweaked because they're not used to training consistently day after day again. We're back in that process again, though. This time it looks a lot more clean, a lot quicker.
Pretty much no major injuries. Have it all cleaned up by next Tuesday or Tuesday.
Yeah, we're 22 deep right now.
Awesome. All right.
I got one last thing.
Of
I do
course.
want to say this. Something that I want to give a shout out to, right, is, I got a little bit of a different perspective at the end of the game. And the first thing is, it was really, really a cool atmosphere to be a part of and see that other schools were supporting us. There were players from Venice, from Riverview, from Sarasota, all there cheering for our guys. A lot of them play club together.
Our athletes.
Yeah. And we know Coach O'Sullivan, he canceled baseball practice early because he said they were practicing and the boys were scoreboard watching so hard that they were missing the ball.
It's right on purpose.
Yeah,
Right
he
on
said,
purpose.
don't put your stuff up, get over there, watch the game. And those guys were out there in force. They were running around telling me, hey, you guys got this. And when you win, we're rushing the field, right?
I know they were there for part of the semifinal game. I was there for that one too. A little
Yeah.
bit, so that's good.
And then it was weird, right? It was like one of those moments where the game started at 7, and as coaches we're kind of looking over, going, okay, the parents are coming in and they're here, right, for both teams. And then the next time we looked over and we're like, there's a lot of people here.
Good.
The fence was lined and the bleachers were lined, and it was a really cool moment. The thing I've been stressing, to our guys is, Northport's still a young school. And we need these athletic moments so badly, right? Like, just to engage from sport to sport and athletics as a whole. We had tons of administrators out there. Ms. Fusco was out there. The principals from the other school, like, everybody was so engaged and in tune with the game. And people who don't even care about soccer come to me and they say, they're like, I'm a fan now.
That's
right?
awesome.
So I just want to stress that, and the support we got that night, we're so thankful for. And we're going to fight our butts off to make sure we come home and get a game here back in the preserve.
My follow-up, is there a scenario where you could come back?
Yeah, everything's going to be situational at this point. I mean,
Okay.
there is some kind of play in it that, like, district champion can be rewarded if someone's not a district champion. If they're at large and we're a lower seed, we could then host a game. Like, there's a lot of different scenarios. Or if a lower seed were to beat somebody and come back, you never know what happens on the other side of the bracket. We could be hosting a regional final here in about a week and a half, and that would be amazing.
We got to
Go
get
right
the
back
whole
through it.
fusion out. We got to get the mayor out. If
Yeah,
that
yeah.
happens. Oh my goodness.
We're gonna definitely give it everything we have to get
That's
there.
awesome.
So what is the camaraderie like at the school now compared to at the beginning of the season?
I would just say, I think that, again, having a very senior group, right? These kids, or a lot of them are social butterflies in the school, right? So a lot of friends outside of soccer and that have engaged more in our sport this year because of that. And it's good. I mean, these guys fight like that for 4 years to try to provide this moment. Now, they bring the attention because they get the championship. I mean, it's hard sometimes. We go on the road and we don't get back till 11, 12, 1 in the morning, and it's hard to get up the next morning and go back whether you win or lose because you're tired, right? Friday was not hard to go to work. And when we walked in the door, I mean, from staff members to students that you've never talked to before to everybody's just like, congratulations, we're so excited for you, and announcements happening in the morning and throughout the day, just kind of being showered with that, and we're hopeful the boys feel that too.
I noticed since I participated in the hair, like people that I'm not sure they knew soccer players before, but like now, like, oh, I had random people coming up and go, oh, you did it too. But like, so it kind of became a thing, and we won, and it was on the announcement. So I think it's brought a lot of attention to this.
So if you're old enough to remember the black and white movies, The Village of the Damned, they had all the kids in bleach blonde hair lined up in pairs. You should have them all walk out one day like that. Yeah. Well, hey, how you ready for next Tuesday? Got any words, final words here?
I mean, I think as a team collectively, we are definitely ready to go up and play Durant.
All right. Well, coaches, hey, thank you for coming out today. We definitely want an update, like I said, in a couple of weeks. Appreciate it. Good luck, guys. Thank you. Loving the trophy. All right. Good luck, guys. Thanks so much. All right.
And congratulations.
Trophy too.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah, that was a highlight.
Nice trophy.
All right. So while we're again, that is Coach Sorbino, Coach Thomas, and one of our captains, Hayden Thomas. Caden Thomas, he won Hayden. They are district champions here, victorious on a double overtime penalty kick victory. Well done, guys. All right, we're gonna set up here for our softball preview. Before we get there, Monday last night we had girls wrestling. Again, winter sports just keeps cruising through. They had districts at Bradenton Christian. We have all 3 of our girls wrestlers all going to go on to regionals in 2 weeks. That's right. We got Clarissa Pequeño, Isabella Cordova, and Solana McCoffin, who, by the way, won her weight class district. They're all going to be in regionals in 2 weeks. Fantastic there. Good job, coaches. We also had girls basketball with a little bit of surprise. I won't lie to you. They went to Lehigh for their district quarterfinal, and they pulled off the road win, 46-42. Good job, Coach Tillman. That's fantastic. They're going to play tomorrow night. We haven't found out yet where their semifinals will be. Tonight, right now, boys wrestling still not at districts yet. They're taking on Riverview. Tomorrow, girls basketball will have their semifinals. They'll have to go on the road again. I didn't know this, but tennis already started Thursday against Booker. That's not preseason. That's regular season. We're working on getting Coach Noonan out here for his tennis preview, hopefully for next Tuesday. Boys basketball will go to Riverview. We already talked about how I don't like that seating, but I'm not the FHSAA. They had the district semifinal at Riverview. John, years ago, Northport Riverview used to be the game in basketball.
Yep.
Back when Coach Allen was still here and all that was
Big time.
That was the power game, and people came from all over that game. So that's gonna be a tough one. Winner will probably take on the even tougher Sarasota. They're 22-2 this year. One of those 2 losses was Northport. So it's gonna be at Sarasota if the districts keep seeding. So I think we can do it. So by the way, next week, guys, we're gonna have a show before all this, but next week you already heard it. Boys regionals, girls regionals, both taking on their weightlifting. We're gonna have 4 members at the state level. That's right, we already have states for weightlifting. And we got to give a shout out real quick before we move on here to softball. Girls cheerleading went to states, 3rd place in the entire state of Florida. I'm going to try to get Coach Brantley on here as well. They did not get a trophy. Viewers out there, FHSAA only went 2 deep on the trophies. If you don't like that, give us a little shout out. Let's see if we can try to help them out on something like that. They deserve a trophy, 3rd place in the entire state for competitive cheer. That's fantastic.
It's a hell of a job.
We got to make that. We got to get better recognition on that. All right, so we are on our softball preview. We started off with track and field. Then we had baseball. Now we have softball. Coach Lowy, I keep calling her Lowry all this time. So Coach Lowy, great friend of the program. Before we start, Coach, I'm going to tell everybody, I have seen this poor young lady everywhere I go for games. She's there helping out the school. She's helping out the sessions, whether she got roped into it, suckered into it, or volunteered to do it. I really want to appreciate. So, Coach, thank you for being on our show today. Go ahead and give us a quick little bio and what got you to Northport and coaching and all that. I don't know if this is going to work, but we can try. Let's try that one there.
I'm Coach Lowy. I took over Northport softball. This is my 3rd season. came down from Maryland after 6 years there and took over the softball program. And, it was not in the best of states, as these two can attest. I got two seniors here, so they were what, sophomores? Yeah, they were sophomores when I took over, and we've tried to really implement a lot of changes, and we've really collectively done a good job of growing our program. One of the things that I personally am most proud of is that this year we have a JV team, and that's something that we haven't had in the last 4 years.
Really?
So that's been a huge thing. And, as a coach, I think in order to have sustained success, you need to have a vertical program. And part of that is having that developmental team. So having that piece this year added has been absolutely huge. And as you mentioned, I am Team Northport. I'm there,
The only other person I see more than you is Mrs. Hogue.
Yeah, Miss Hogue
She's
is
a
there.
fan, though.
Yep.
You take it.
Yep.
Miss Hogue and you are, I think, the only two I see at every event that I go to.
We certainly try to be there, as much as we can. I love seeing the kids in action, and if I could be at every game, I certainly would. But now that softball's here, we're hitting the ground running. We've got a very busy schedule this
Are
year.
you a faculty member of the high school?
Yeah, so I teach PE, which has been great. So I love being in that domain, and it really lets me take my coaching to kind of the next level, because I see the kids in a different light, and we're interacting in different ways, and I've been able to grow the program organically through that, just because I see a ton of kids that come through PE.
You recruit.
Yeah,
mentor.
we recruit all the time, and we're just trying to grow the numbers right now.
Is this area a hard district? Like, I know soccer is ridiculously hard. I know baseball
Yeah.
is even hard. The
So-
softball, I know Little Miss Sarasota was always the beast forever.
Sarasota has been in our district, and they've been pretty tough the last couple of years. We've been competitive with them, just haven't gotten over that hill yet. Fortunately for us, their pitcher and catcher, they graduated last season. So I was pretty happy to hear that.
But don't they have next batter?
They do. They've got quite a farm system over there as well. But coach over at Sarasota and I, we have a good relationship. But
You heard me talk about soccer. Do
Sure.
you guys do districts, home and aways, or you guys is one of
So-
those things where you don't have to play your district team?
yeah, it's kind of wonky, just like soccer. You can play whoever you want. You could go, if you can fundraise and you want to go all the way up to Tallahassee, you can play a team out there. We try and play our districts, so that way we at least know postseason. If you're going to play Sarasota again, you know kind of what they have. So we have games with everybody in our district, with the exception of Lakewood Ranch. They tend to play, a little bit of a different schedule, but everybody
so what
else.
would be, so Sarasota, who else roughly?
Sarasota,
roughly?
Riverview, Venice, and I think Gold Coast is the other team with
All the
us.
way down there to Naples, isn't it?
Yep.
Gulf Coast, the
Yep.
Sharks, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was always a volleyball district for us.
Yeah. So we played them last year, and I believe they're in our district again this year. But it's random. Once you get to postseason, again, just like soccer, if you're not your regional champion, they take the at-large top 8, so you don't have to be your district champion to get in. Which,
So in Maryland, did you see that? Did they have the same thing, or did they go?
No.
You got to win your district.
you had to win it was a more traditional. You play your regular season, you play your district, and then you're advanced based off that. I don't know why we do things a little bit differently here, but that might be a Florida thing.
Joey's being nice about Sorvino.
Yeah.
A lot of it is there was this argument that the big city schools were getting
Sure.
underrepresented from small towns like Hardy and all that. But then they corrected by doing population based,
Right.
and that still wasn't enough to make the cities happy.
I
So now
think
they
it
jump
really-
over this system.
They just need to really look at it from all different angles and then
Yeah.
find the best solution that works for all those angles. But you can't only ask certain parties for their input.
Right.
You're not going to get a solid solution that way.
Enough of the boring stuff. Coach,
Yeah.
who do you have here on the table today? Let's
So
finish this, please.
these are my two senior captains, Constantine Belgrade and Caitlin Page, and they've been with me for the last 3 years.
All right, we'll go with Constantine first. Which one, Constantine? All right. Can you get this microphone there? Go ahead and let us know your name, your age, where you play, all that good stuff.
My name is Constantine Belgrade. I just turned 18. I'm a pitcher and a right fielder.
Wow. Do you rotate depending on when you pitched? And
Yeah.
is there a pitch limit in high school?
I don't think so.
Because I see college games, they're pitching like 120 or something crazy
Well,
like
college
that.
pitchers can go over 300.
And they'll do like
Yeah.
game after game.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. And for our listeners out there, this is fast pitch. This isn't
Yes,
softball.
fast
They're just
pitch.
whipping that sucker like a cannon at you. Did you play pitcher most of your life? Did you?
Yeah, I've pitched pretty much my whole entire life, probably since like my 3rd season playing.
When did you start? Which sport roughly age group wise?
I was around like 10, like 9.
Okay. Did you learn down here? Was there a system here in Morport? I can't remember Morport as a little.
Yeah, I did with Miss Northport.
Okay.
Like the Little League Miss Northport. Yeah, I started there and then went to travel and
Gotcha.
crazy
So do you
stuff.
prefer outfield or infield there? What's your
I
preference?
prefer pitcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You command that game.
Yeah.
Sure.
I just like the feeling of having the ball in your hand every single
Every single way.
play.
That's great. And then your friend on the left here. Go. Who's your name again? I got a question.
I'm Caitlin Page.
Caleb Page. There we go. Caleb, what do you play? What?
I'm first and third baseman.
Okay. First and third. All right. So how long you been playing for?
I'm not good at math, so I started around like 5 or 6.
Oh wow. Really?
However long
Gotcha.
that is. I'm 18 currently.
And you played in the Northport area as well?
I started in Kansas. I moved down from Kansas around like 8 years old.
Gotcha.
But I started with rec ball, moved to travel, and now high school.
All right. So, Coach, how'd you pick for your captain? What's the criteria you're looking for, and what are you seeing in these young ladies?
Well, I gotta say, when I started, this program, as I alluded to earlier, was not in the best of states, and I've relied on these two. I can't even tell you how much. Just an awful amount to kind of help me shift that culture and to bring accountability and bring discipline and bring strong structure to that program. And they've always been up for the task. So, I mean, it was a no-brainer to put these two in a leadership position. The really good thing about them is that they're leaders, on the field, but they're high character women, right? So they handle their business in the classroom. They're never an issue on campus. I never have to worry about, are they out of class? Are they not doing what they're supposed to? So, I mean,
Makes your life a lot easier.
Oh, 100%. I rely on them like I
I
said.
feel like you're enforcers.
Yeah.
Do you split the team in half? Do you have duties as captains? What's your breakdown here?
I think we kind of work together with
It
everything.
is
If
a
we
lot of
see a
together.
problem, then we immediately go to each other and we're like, hey, like, are you noticing this too? And then we immediately.
And your other teammates are responding to that pretty good.
Yes.
Fantastic. Do you like the rest of your teammates? Do you like what you see this season? Anything
I
different
do.
from last year? Or?
We're very, very strong offensively this year. Our hitting has really picked up.
Yeah, I think overall this team that we have right now is probably one of the best ones we've had.
Did you do anything different in the off season to get you this level, or just one more year of being with the coach here in the system?
I
A little
think,
both.
yeah, a little bit of.
I mean, we started a little bit earlier with our preseason stuff, just doing some off-season conditioning and getting the girls ready to go. So that way, when trials came, we kind of hit the ground running. But as they alluded to, we're young on our varsity team overall, but we have a lot of options. There's a lot of girls that play multiple positions, which as a coach, that's a good problem to have. Is figuring out who do I need to play here tonight, who can shift over there. So as a coach and as a coaching staff, we're very excited. I think this team, really has a lot of potential to go very far this year.
How many seniors do you have on the varsity?
This is it.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
These two.
So you're setting out the framework for the next class coming up next year. Wow, that's a lot of responsibility there. That's good though. You get to set the tone for next year's team as well as this year. That's good. So you're starting when? When is your first actual regular season, not preseason, regular season? Or both?
Well, preseason is the 13th and the 15th, and we go down to Charlotte and play preseason against ECS in Lemon Bay, and then our regular season starts February 20th. I believe we are at Fort Myers.
Okay.
I know we're on the road to start the season.
Gotcha. So you got the parents and all, they're all excited to come out. You got a good parent group for you?
Yeah,
this
I mean,
season?
we've had a lot of parent support. They're very invested in the program, and obviously they want to see their kids do well, and they've been helpful to me, and that's all you can ask. I mean, it is a collective team effort, and if you don't have that parental involvement piece, it's just.
Could we put you on the scene here or set you up here? We'd love to have one of your parents join the boosters, the actual
We
athletic
do.
booster, not your own booster, but the actual.
No, we do. Caitlin Page's mother is.
Is she still on or is one of those
She
leaving?
is.
Oh, well,
She will be leaving. She is current vice president of the
Yes.
district club.
Everybody has to leave at some
At some
point.
point, yeah. So we're
They-
working on.
But We need more parents to step up.
We're working on trying to get some parents. involved
Absolutely.
there.
You guys are working hard to do that too, right?
Yeah.
We've been throwing the idea that every sport should have at least one parent on the booth, so that should be a mandatory thing.
Yeah.
It should. I'm in agreement with that.
I got a question though,
Yes, sir.
because you talked about culture. You talked about the varsity and JV connection.
Sure.
Everybody knows you have to have a good JV team, but to have a good JV team, you really need to have that culture at even the community level.
Sure.
So you talked about travel league, talk about all these things. These are all facets that come into play for a successful high school program, correct?
Absolutely.
Go
So
ahead.
one of my assistant coaches is Alex Champion. He's the president of Miss Northport. So he does a good job of helping to kind of bridge that gap for us with the rec leagues. And one of the things that we do every year is we host a community night. So that community night is actually going to be on February 26th. It is a varsity only game with Braden River. And we bring out our local fire department, police department, EMS,
Awesome.
and they bring all their special toys out, and they bring the canines, and we'll invite all of the rec kids to come in, and they get to go on the field with our varsity girls, and it's a really good night to just kind of bridge that gap and make them feel kind of a part of it. So having all of those pieces in place has been huge, and thank you to our fire department and our police for agreeing to come out and have that night with us.
What connections have you made during that time frame? And what has that meant over the years you've been here?
Yeah, so our first year, I don't think we did a community night. It was kind of like a let's just survive the season kind of thing.
Yeah.
And as I said, Alex works with Miss Northport, and Dave Grant works for the city, so he has some of those connection pieces. And now I know some people in the fire department and the police department, and getting them involved with our campus has been great. I know they also help out with football, and they do their blue silver games. So, the more that we're connected to the community, I feel like the more people are likely to be involved with it. And as a young school like Northport, we need that. And we need to continue to grow that foundation. So I think this is a good way to do it.
But furthermore, people need to know that you're doing that.
Yes,
And really trying to get that information out by itself is tough.
it is. So, we share it on our social media. We have Instagram and Facebook. And then,
What are they?
so our Instagram is at Lady Bobcats SB. And our Facebook is Northport High School Softball. So when we create the events, we always tag the high school. We tag the athletic boosters. We tag Northport Athletics.
And now us.
Now you guys, the
Yeah.
Student Success Center, and then, like I said, our other coaches on there, they share it through Miss Northport. So, we're hoping that this year the response will be even greater than it has been in the past. But, we like to do our part to kind of give back and thank our community members for all that they do for us.
Fantastic.
If I'm not announcing that night, I'll definitely come out and
Yeah, for
footage
sure.
of you guys.
For sure.
A little bit early. So
Yeah.
I only have microphones at work now. Field microphones. No, that's
Yeah.
not my own, my little teeny one.
Nice.
All right.
All right, that's pretty cool. So, I got a little thing here. I told Matt Mitchell the baseball that the football guys want to help with concessions. Now, you have been instrumental with this as well. Have they taught you about doing that?
We haven't really talked about softball, spring concessions, but days that we have baseball and softball, it makes sense to do
Yeah.
some sort of concession. If it's a softball only game outside of like a bigger event like our community night, we unfortunately just don't draw enough people to make it worthwhile.
Yeah. If you're listening, guys, if you ever get a chance to come see a baseball or softball game, you'll see that we don't really have a lot of bleacher
Yeah, it's not a.
structure. I'll say it that way.
That's a good way to say
It's
it.
been a situation for both programs.
Yeah.
I don't know how, at what level the county steps in and says, okay, we're gonna, because I don't go to away games. I don't see how the other fields are in terms of a press box. And
There's a lot of schools that have standalone structures.
like ours. Oh no,
Like
the
what's
real ones.
like
Okay.
almost what's down at the stadium, maybe not quite that big.
Right.
And I know Coach O'Sullivan and we've talked about, in a dream, we would like to have a
Yeah.
standalone structure there where, we put baseball offices and softball offices, and we run a bathroom out there, and we also use it as a concession stand. But there's a lot of, as you alluded to, county red tape that we have to go through and, some other processes. But it would really elevate both
Oh.
programs.
No doubt.
And I think just from a spectator perspective, when you're up at baseball and softball, if you need to use the restroom, which is highly likely, you have to walk a fair distance to go down and use the restroom. And, if we want to improve that overall experience for our spectators and our fans, that would be a huge step.
So you're a young coach. I don't want your spot. So let me see what I can find out. I don't know if it's anywhere within 10 years or 15.
Yeah, I'm not
Coach
quite sure.
John would know more because he's had to deal with this for
Yeah.
many years. If
Yes,
you watch
yes.
our baseball episode, he talked about
Yep.
the lights and how long it took to get out. So
Yeah.
I really would love to see some movement on that, but that's okay. Ladies, how about your classroom and your social activity? I mean, are you always doing softball? Are you actually get a break? Do you do any? Is it grades and softball and sleep?
Well, for grades, I just get my stuff done at school in class, like
Yes.
So it's taught you good time management skills.
Yeah, like if I have like an assignment or homework, I try to get them in whenever I'm not doing something in class, so that because I know I have softball and I know it's gonna get me exhausted. So I try to get it done so I don't have to do it at home as much as possible.
Yeah. So, Coach, we'll let the secret out here. We actually have a state weightlifter on this table here.
We do.
I'll let you go ahead and I don't know how she's doing both that and softball. So
She's
I'll
a
let
busy
Paige.
woman.
Paige, what you got going on over there?
So I qualified for states by placing third at regionals. I missing the first 20 minutes of every softball practice to get a lift in, to get that extra rep, just to ensure my lifts at states are the best that I can give.
Did you weightlift for all 4 years or just recently? Or?
I started my sophomore year, but I broke my ankle. So I've only been able to really compete for 2 years.
Wow.
But in those 2 years, I've made states go times.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. What events do you lift? I forgot what they have.
There is traditional and Olympic. So traditional consists of clean and jerk and bench.
Okay.
Olympic consists of clean and jerk and snatch.
Nice. That's what my nephew did on a living basis. Which one do you lift in?
I have qualified for all.
Oh, wow.
all
Look at that.
lifts.
So you look at that.
Fantastic.
Wow.
She's crushing it. But I gotta say, she's not our only state weightlifter on the team.
Oh, so
So there is,
there's 4 of them total, I saw.
yes, and Caitlin Kohlenberg has also qualified. Caitlin plays center field, shortstop, third base. I mean, we can put her, anywhere. Is she for Olympic and traditional too?
She qualified for traditional.
Okay, so she qualified for state, so we're super proud of that. But there were also a couple other softball players that competed in weightlifting, and that's something that we really encourage
Oh, yeah.
because it's only helps them out.
And the great thing is the timing is you're lifting first, then you're sliding into softball. So you're going to have that nice power in there. That's fantastic. Oh, so the great thing about weightlifting is it'll go with you the rest of your life.
It will.
Softball might last until you get to a certain age group, and then you got to do the beer leagues and all that. But weightlifting, you can go through and keep you healthy. Have you been in the new weight room for any of this?
I have. It's wonderful. I have been wanting that new weight room to be.
Did you
done.
break your ankle because of the old weight room? That's the next question. You can't say that
I
loud,
would
can
have
you?
been a way to get it done quicker, but I broke it through softball.
Oh, okay, all right. We're actually gonna try to get a show out there once they're ready for it. I guess they're still working on this and that.
Yeah, I think there's a few final touches that they have
And
to
then
do.
we're actually gonna do a live show from there. So
It looks.
I'd like to have you come back out there and you can demonstrate your exercise, of course, because
Yeah, we're actually trying to get on site to do a lot of things. Sean's been going out to a lot of the venues,
Yeah.
and we've been doing some remote stuff. So we're trying to catch as much sports as we can.
Where you
And
at?
Sean's been doing a great job getting out there.
Yes.
I think we have a little table and everything. But no, so softball's coming up for you, your senior year. I have to ask a question. Are you gonna try to keep going with this after your senior year? Are you gonna keep it recreational? Are you gonna try to do collegiate? Is there talk amongst the seniors about that?
For me, I am looking at new college.
Okay.
I haven't had the
They have the new program there, don't they?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
I have reached out to the head coach at the college that I am most interested in.
Okay.
I am still waiting on a reply,
Yeah.
but if it works out, it works out. If not, I can continue lifting. I can always come back and help Coach Lowy coach.
And the great thing about college is if you go, I don't know if you go to 4-year school or not, they have most big schools have an awesome intramural
Yes,
program, and that is
they do.
really fun because you don't have to stress out about everyday practices. It's
Yeah.
pick up the bag, go have fun, and go back to home study. So that's always a great thing. I tell my students, hey, intramurals, that's the way to go. If you can't officially do 4-year varsity, collegiate level. So I don't know where you're saying Florida or
I am staying.
Oh, okay. Bright Futures kids here.
Yes.
That's good. That's awesome. How about you, Ace kids in here? Oh my gosh. I'm still, John, it amazes me that we have high-level athletes
We do.
that can handle the time requirements
Multi-athletes.
and still pull off the ACE diploma, which is no easy thing. So, oh my goodness, that's crazy.
It's a lot of self-discipline.
It does. And time, you've got plenty of time in your day to do certain things, but time management is huge.
Right.
And I'm glad to hear both of you talking that. That's fantastic.
How are your classmates supporting you? They even know much about softball. They just think it's an old man game. Like, how do you educate your classmates on this?
I think recently, with I know us and our juniors, we all have a lot of other athletic friends.
Okay.
I think we've gone out and supported the soccer. We were at the game.
We were,
and
yes.
we've been trying to support them, and they've also kind of
Good.
started to support us. So I feel like overall, I think that's just our athletic program growing too.
And John, I can tell you about it. I've seen it this year. I go and I'm seeing so many kids coming out from different sports. We had that about 10 years ago. They especially baseball, softball, basketball.
Yeah.
It kind of went away for a while.
Well,
It's
I
really
think
nice to see that culture growing.
that was a priority for Coach Miller, was to increase the athletes supporting athletes. And the fact that he gave them student passes this year was amazing. I mean, I know it takes a little bit of a hit monetarily, but you can't just get that camaraderie out of nowhere. So we've been organically growing it, and shout out to him for doing that.
You guys gonna have a teacher night where each one invites a teacher out, wears a jersey kind of thing?
It's in the works.
Yeah.
So we do our community night, and then our senior night is 3/26. So we have that senior night will be that night, and that'll be a good night for these knuckleheads here. And they tell me that I'm gonna cry.
Oh yeah, I'm the announcer. I cry as an announcer. I get media.
When I teared up at the weightlifting senior night, she started to tear up.
Oh yeah.
It's just it ruins my reputation. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It'd be hardcore, coach.
Yeah.
I get media as the announcer. I only see him once a week. And I told my students, the athletes, it's not about your night. It's the families, the
Right.
friends who got you to that
Right,
point.
absolutely.
All the investment in time and sacrifice.
Absolutely.
So it's such a big sacrifice for families to get you there. You might not recognize it, but it's definitely, especially softball. If you're doing are you doing all year long softball? Do you do competitives or?
yeah, we did travel over summer.
So that's a big commitment there as well. So financially, time wise, you just watch friends of yours goofing off all summer. You're still having to go out and sweat it out. in the
So
summertime.
I'm gonna put you on the spot,
Oh boy.
both of you, because you're seniors. What would you tell someone who wants to play softball for Northport? Why should they do it?
That's a really good one.
It is a great. It's a great one because you've stuck through the tough times to get to this time. What would you tell someone coming in now?
I'd say honestly, just the group feeling. You may have had a worse day at school than you think you could possibly have, but you get out to the softball field, you get around all of your friends, and instantly it's like a weight lifted off of your shoulders. It's an incredible feeling to be surrounded by a group of girls that are your age, that are at your skill level. You're able to just perform the way you know that you guys can perform.
So you love that support.
I love the support, yes.
How about you?
I think our atmosphere in general, I feel like we're serious when we need to be, but we also have our fun. So I feel like a lot of people are probably oh, it's serious, whatever. But really, it's fun. We have our fun out there. We do our stuff outside of, and a lot of us are friends outside of softball. So us all summer, we went to the beach together. And we all kind of hang out outside. So you're just creating friends that you're gonna have forever.
So, Coach, what would you tell an athlete why they should play for you at Northport?
So, as much as I want to sit here and tell you that, it's about statistics and wins and losses, and it certainly is, ultimately our goal is to be a winning program, but, it's my job as a coach to be bigger than softball. So I really strive to teach them those other skills. I can teach you how to field and throw and hit a curveball, but I also want to teach the accountability, the discipline, the time management pieces, teach you how to deal with conflict, overcome adversity, all of those pieces. And, my goal is to have a program that does that through a high level of structure. And I think as a staff, we've done a really good job of growing that. And a student that's coming into our program is going to get all of that. They're going to get all of those things, plus they're going to have fun playing the game that they love.
And that's the culture that you're talking about.
We're certainly trying to build it every day. It's day by day, brick by brick. And, I think we've come a long way, but we've got a long way to go.
Is your job as a coach done at any point in your day?
No. I mean, I've been coaching, whether it's in Pennsylvania, Maryland, or here. I still have athletes that I've talked to that have graduated 6-7 years ago. These girls, they know once they graduate, we're no longer talking. I mean, we may not be at school together, but I'm a phone call away, a text away, whether they need help with and whatever they need. They've got somebody that's going to support them, forever.
Us.
Well, speaking of communicating, so back in football season, we had a really nice trickling in of the alumni coming back to support. How about your softball alumni? You got an alumni game at all?
We don't have an alumni game. We've had alumni come back.
Good.
And it's always exciting to see them back. We've got an alumni that's playing at FIU this year.
Oh, wow.
So, that's really exciting. We're going to follow her story.
Who is it? We're going to keep an eye on that.
Julie Vanderkoos. So she's going to pitch at FIU. We have a past alumni that came back. Caden Soltis came back. Kelsey Reducci came back. So it's always good to see those girls come back and, still be excited about Northport softball.
That's fantastic. Yeah. How's your business partners going? That's always a tough one for this, because you're at the end of the year and everybody's been hit up.
Yeah.
Like every sport.
Everybody's been hit
Bless
up.
your hearts, you're in March, and it's like we're tapped out of funds. Come
Yeah.
back this again next fall.
Yeah, we are. We just held a Boca Lupo night, so shout out to Boca Lupo. Thank you for doing that for us.
Did you meet Peter by any chance, Manager Pete?
I did not.
I'm trying to get him on next week
Nice.
because
Okay,
he's helped you guys and he's helped DeFi out as
Yeah,
well.
so we talked to Lizzie Valentino. I
And
think
he
her
gave you
last
some
name is.
marketer name. But
Yeah, so
Okay.
she's been great, and they've done a night for us, I think, the last 2 years. We had Florida Cancer sponsor us this year,
Oh, okay.
and MTY Construction sponsored us this year. So, we've been fortunate that we do have some business partners that are like, hey, we know your deal's a little tougher, so they still support us. But if any business wants to support us, I'm not going to turn you down.
Yeah, one of the things that I try to do, and I don't always get to it, but it's not really my job to do, but I like to go find the sponsors.
Yeah.
And I try to either actually physically phone call them and thank them.
Yep.
Try to get them on the PA system at least once or twice a game.
Yeah, we always
So,
thank our
of
sponsors
course.
as well. I mean, it's just, it's the right thing to
Yeah,
do.
of course. I wanted years ago, John, because I knew this was a problem. I said
Yeah.
we should reach out to every group and make like a blue and silver sticker kind of system. Let's say you pay $1,000, that puts you on the silver. That's leave me alone.
Yeah.
$1,000 goes to boosters.
Yep.
That's for the year. So these kids want to go and
Yeah,
or blue could be like
it's,
5,000, whatever. And
It's tough.
it's definitely tough.
No, they
because,
want sport by sport by sport.
Sure,
And,
but I mean, we have, how many sports in the fall, the spring, and the
it's a
winter,
lot.
and everybody unfortunately goes to the same businesses.
And it's just not the high school.
Correct.
It's everywhere.
And it's not even athletics, it's
It's
Girl
everything.
Scouts, Boy
Yeah.
Scouts, all
It's
those
everything.
pieces are, everybody's fundraising, so, you just gotta try and find your little share.
Yeah. A piece of the pie.
That's right, 100 piece.
Girls, who are you looking forward to the most on your schedule this year? Do you have anybody circled? Like, last year I want to get back and get on. Is there anybody on that?
You I won.
Oh, you want to say it out loud or not?
I'll say it.
I don't want you to, what do they call it?
Bulletin board
Bulletin
material.
board material, yeah.
Listen, they all know I want to beat Sarasota.
Sarasota for sure.
I want to beat Sarasota. We haven't beat them in 3 years. This is the year we do it.
Little secret here, not secret. I actually graduated from Sarasota High.
Oh.
But that school's been around. John knows this. They've been around for 100+ years. They've
Yeah.
got it. Just feeds itself. Whereas you guys, this is why I like Northport better because
Yeah.
here you are setting the groundwork.
Yeah.
Right. That's they don't need my alumni this long. They've got so many
They've got a lot.
alumni. It feeds itself. Here's where we need to be. Here's where we need to support you guys.
Who's your game that you want?
I'm excited for senior night against Port Charlotte.
Oh, good.
That's always a good one.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Oh, all right.
You guys gotta get
That's 3 big wins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Anytime we play somebody local, there's just a
Yeah.
little added, added little bit of energy.
Oh, get it up in your step.
That's right. You get a little fired up.
So you're looking forward to this year. You said you got a lot of offense,
Yeah.
defense, pitching. I mean, besides yourself, the Wilson's pitchers out there. We'll give them some shout outs here.
Pacing Romney for our varsity team.
Yeah.
And Lauren Boff will pitch a little bit.
Do you have like how many pitchers do you go deep in the varsity team usually?
We have,
Three first rotation.
well, we have 3. Caitlin Kohlenberg can
Yeah.
pitch if we need it or 2. Kaylin Kelly can throw an inning or 2. So like I said, we have options. I mean, it's been a coach's blessing to have as many options as we do this year.
It sounds like you guys are really sad about this year.
We are.
Big
ready to
difference
go.
than last year, and I do remember some of those tougher years.
Yeah.
I had just finished teaching, and I went into my own nursing thing, so I had to take a break for a little bit.
Sure.
I heard rumbling and rumor, and they're like, "Oh man, we got to get back to that." So I'm really happy for you. I don't know how many times I'll be able to get out there to see the games because I got so many nights, but I definitely want to remind everybody. So February 26th,
Yep.
that's the big one. That's the
big
community night. We really got to help you with that. It's fire department, police department,
Yep.
public works going out, and
Yep.
anything like
They're,
that.
everybody's all invited. The rec kids will be
Parks
out
and
as well.
Recreation as well.
Absolutely.
How about city commissioners?
Yeah, they're invited.
Oh,
Get them out there.
there
I'll
we
be texting
go.
them.
All right, well, let's do it.
And then senior night, you said it was March 26th. So I got a
Yes.
month in between.
Yep.
Are you going anywhere far away like the other teams did? Like the Key West thing?
We're not going to
I
Key
saw
West.
baseball's on the Key West.
Yeah, they're going to Key West. I think our furthest, I want to say is maybe Cypress Lake. Cypress Lake's about a little over an hour
Okay.
for us.
Maybe next year you'll get that exotic Key West trip.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's
Combined baseball. You can come down and be chaperones.
yeah, you can be chaperones, right? We're not like
Well,
eliminated here.
Well, ladies, Coach Larry, I want to thank y'all for coming out there for our softball preseason preview.
I
I
appreciate you
really
having us.
like this. So we had track and field, baseball, softball. Now we're waiting for Coach Noonan for tennis. If you can help me out on that.
I'll talk to him tomorrow.
So
Get them out of here.
Yeah, we'll talk to him.
we are looking forward to great things this year. I'm so happy for you. I love this person here. She's everywhere. She's everywhere. She's always positive. She always gives you water and food and all that. So, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in tonight. Again, I know it's been a while since we've been here. We're at Northport Beach Braves, your official home of the Bobcat Blitz. Tuesday next week, I have to go back to the Zoom style because our teams just don't want to lose playoff games. We're hosting a regional soccer game, so I'll be announcing that game. Who knows next Tuesday after that? We just keep going to states. We'll just do Zoom the rest of the season.
That's right.
It's a great problem to have. Guys, I'm telling you, this community, winter sports, crushing it this year. Every week I'm looking at someone's going to regional, someone's going to states. Come on down to Northport High. We got a great.
500.
So, on behalf of everyone, John Rawlings.
500 members.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. I let off this morning. I've been looking real nervously. 500 members today. I want to thank
We're not even a
Nation.
year old.
Not even 6 months old.
No.
Pretty much. So, John, I want to thank everybody out there. We know we've had a little ups and downs here with our technical support and all that, but we'll get there. But we want to thank you all for supporting us here. Come on down to Northport Beach Brady's. They could use our help as well. They've been such a great host for us throughout the year. They also fed us in the press box during football season. So come on down here. Guys, thanks so much. We will see you next Tuesday.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Have a
you.
great night.
All right.
Thanks, guys.